We are doing Amritabindu Upanishad. Let us meditate for some time as the seventh mantra of Amritabindu Upanishad guides us on one technique of meditation. So let us practice that technique. Step number 1, let us sit straight, Sthira Sukha Asanam. When the body is still, Sthira, and when the body is relaxed. This is foundation on which the meditator sits. Meditation practice is done only when the body and the mind is relaxed, and the body is relaxed. Relaxation of the body is a very important step. So let us keep the head, neck, backbone straight. During the day, I must practice regularly relaxation of the body, part by part. It also helps in keeping body healthy and healing the body faster. Step number 2, let us take a sankalpa, resolve. In this resolve, I can remember the 4 Mahavakyas, the goal of meditation, Aham Brahmasmi. At this point of time, my role is only of a sadhak, mumukshu, who is seeking this union. For this 10 minutes of meditation, I will keep my body still, mind in the present moment, and intellect clear with the attributes of the self and Brahman. Step 3, Avahanam. After Sthira Sukhasanam and Sankalpa, let us invoke God's grace, Guru Parampara's blessing by invoking a clear form of our Ishta Devata. The moment I think of the Ishta Devata's form must come in our mind, or Guru, or if these two, our feelings, our faith is less than Om. That is what is the recommendation of the Upanishad. The more clearer the form, the more my relationship, my faith, my love, the feelings are invoked. Let us imagine that we are invoking God, Guru, Guru Tattva, and from God and Guru Tattva, a golden blue light is coming, and we do the 4th step, body scan. The head is completely relaxed, face, shoulders, both hands, backbone, chest, stomach, entire golden blue light is pervading. Buttocks, groin, thighs, knees, calf muscles, shin, ankle, feet. My entire body is pervaded by the golden blue light. Don't feel the presence of the cross body. Next step, let us withdraw the mind from the body and focus on the breath. Just observe the inhalation, exhalation, the natural flow of the breath. Let us observe every movement of the stomach. When we inhale, the stomach comes out. When we exhale, the stomach goes in. If we focus on the navel part, we can easily observe the body at the stomach level. If the mind is very gross, then observing stomach movement is very important. Let us focus on the point where the breath touches the nostril inside, the temperature, the flow, the momentum of the air through both the nostrils. Now let us practice the technique given in the seventh mantra by invoking Amritabindu Upanishad, Drashta the Rushi, Swarena Sandhayet, entirely focus on the sound. So let us chant 12 times Om. My entire attention must be sound, and the mind dissolves in the sound, and then I observe the silence. And when there is observation of the silence, then non-existence becomes existence. Om. 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 Let us focus on the silence between the three Oms. Om. Oh. Oh. The mind again is generating a lot of thoughts. Then I must keep chanting Om for more time. And when the mind gets used to observing silence for long durations, then as it happens in the sleep, the mind dissolves, manonasha. And the process is as spontaneous as we go to sleep. The process is as spontaneous as the dreamer wakes up. Till this time, there is self-effort. When will it happen? What time it will happen? That is God's grace. So a very clear technique is given how to withdraw the mind from outside to the body, to the breath, to the sound, to the silence, and completing the meditation with again invoking God's grace and Guru Parampara's blessings so that the four obstacles also are taken care of, which we saw. The entire process is very clearly given. If any time we get stuck, we must go back to the Manan and see the obstacles. Which obstacle is coming in between? If the desires are more, the thoughts will be more. Then I must do more Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Four yogas are to be practiced. If the desires are less, the thought pressure also is less. And as Gurudev described, the final state, vasana lessness, leading to desirelessness, leading to thoughtlessness, leading to actionlessness, not action without action, but actionlessness, wakeful sleep, objectless awareness. So let us chant our prayers to keep us on this path and strengthen our this desire. So when we go to temple, when we go to a Mahatma, when we go to Sangam, when we go to Kumbha, our Shubha Vasanas, Shubha desires are strengthened and the Papa Vasanas are reduced. Both things happen. In the presence of a master, in the temple, and in the Kumbha. So people go to Kumbha, all these sadhus and rishis. So let us chant Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो वरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Hari Om. Thank you, Vidya. So, please chant 1 to 7.
मनो हि द्विविधं प्रोक्तं शुद्धं चाशुद्धमेव च। अशुद्धं कामसङ्कल्पं शुद्धं कामविवर्जितं। मन एव मनुष्याणां कारणं बन्धमोक्षयोः। बन्धाय विषयासक्तं मुक्तं निर्विषयं स्मृतं। यतो निर्विषयस्यास्य मनसो मुक्तिरिष्यते। अतो निर्विषयं नित्यं मनः कार्यं मुमुक्षुणा। निरस्तविषयासङ्गं सन्निरुद्धं मनोहृदि। यदा यात्यात्मनो भावं तदा तत्परमं पदम्। तावदेव निरोद्धव्यं यावत् हृदि गतं क्षयम्। एतत् ज्ञानं च ध्यानं च शेषो न्यायश्च विस्तरः। नैव चिन्त्यं न चाचिन्त्यं न चिन्त्यं चिन्त्यमेव तत्। पक्षपातविनिर्मुक्तं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा। Seventh also, no?
7th also.
स्वरेण सन्धयेत् योगम् अस्वरं भावयेत् परम्। अस्वरेणानुभावेन भावो वा भाव इष्यते।
Very nice, Vidya. So, as this Upanishad started with directly Guru's Upadesh, we have assumed that the Shishya has approached a Guru and has shared his mental state that I am still miserable. I have achieved many things, experienced many things, but still I feel empty within. I feel lonely. I feel restless. There is agitation in the mind, and I am not feeling that fulfillment, joy all the time. Why? So this Upanishad starts with direct solution that it is because the mind is impure. And how the Rishi says that there are two types of the mind, pure mind and impure mind. So our goal is to purify the mind. And that's the reason that is a bondage. Mind is the bondage. Mana eva manushyanam. So our bondage is the mind only. And how to get away from the bondage? How to get liberated from the bondage? By making it nirvishaya. Nirvishaya means, as I mentioned, Gurudev's definition, objectless awareness. So I must remove objects. and objects are thought, thoughts are desire. So basically, as we know the first verse of Sita Prajna Lakshan, Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan. So here we saw in this Upanishad that Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara and Sankalpa has to be removed. And why the Sankalpa happens? The Sankalpa happens because as the mind is flow of thoughts, it flows between the two banks. And the two banks are I am the body and the world is real. And till this belief is there that I am the body and the world is real, Sankalpa will keep happening. There is no way the Sankalpas will not happen. Unknowingly, unconsciously, I will create Sankalpas. So, Sarva Sankalpa, when a person gives up, then that person is called as sannyasi. Then I have to purify the mind with different yogas, whatever is my choice. Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. And then when the mind is purified, then I must do Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam. Very important point. We are already doing Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam. Even though our mind is impure and restless during the day, and then once in a week, suppose I listen to Upanishad, then this question must not come again and again to our mind that I am listening, I am practicing, but why I am not experiencing that fulfillment? Because Bhagavan says that maybe again you go back to Karma Yoga, again you go back to Bhakti Yoga, serve, become less selfish, think about the world, think about other people, whatever you can do, you do. And then slowly, slowly this Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam will settle down. But at the same time, when I help people, when I'm doing service, selflessness, once that action is complete, it is complete. Then that thought also doesn't come. If there are regrets and again anxiety about it, then actually the attitude behind the karma is not appropriate. So I must again refresh myself with karma yoga. And then when the mind starts getting purified, Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam, then the seventh verse gives a meditation technique. Swarena Sandhayet Yogam. Aswaram Bhavayet Param. Means I must focus on sound because sound is the origin of the creation. First there was a sound and there was creation. So I must keep chanting Om, 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 Om. And when the mind keeps chanting Om, we have already seen the psychology. We've already know the meaning of Om, that that thought I must take, the intention I must take in the mind that Om has three swaras. Swarena Sandhayit, that I will dissolve the gross world, the subtle world, the causal world with the Om. And then it is followed by silence. That is Aswarena Bhavayat Param. And then slowly, slowly I will start focusing on the silence. Between two thoughts, there is silence. Between two sounds, there is silence. Between two thoughts, to focus on that silence is not very easy. So I give support to the mind with a word. And last time we saw even Ramana Maharshi has given that chanting, singing is good, but better than that is japa. And in japa, better than that is dhyana. And in japa also, loud japa is good. But then in medium way, suppose I say Om, Om, Om. That is very good. But the best dhyana uttama is in the mind. Suppose I am able to say Om, and you, I think everyone, those who are here listening, must try it every day. It is a very subtle process and not very easy to keep chanting Om mentally and then bringing that. Suppose I have to bring that form, that is also very good. And see how much time I can hold on to do japa at the mind level. That is the uttama, highest. Very good. Mind will become very sharp and subtle. And then aswaram bhavayet param. Aswarenanubhavena, till that time we saw, and the mind dissolves in this silence. And then bhavova bhava ishyate. Then the non-existence becomes existence. That part we have to see. That is not very interesting, for me, because non-existence will become existence, means I'm not interested in all those things. I want happiness. So yes, indirectly, Bhagwan is going to take further 4 5 verses which are going to give attribute of the self. What will be the result of this meditation is given in the 8, 9, 10, 11 verses in different ways. And that is very important because I must be very clear what will be the result of the meditation, what is the final moksha definition. I must not have some different ideas. Suppose you ask people, you go out and ask people, what is your definition of moksha? What happens? Many of us knowingly, unknowingly assume that there is going to be a very out of the world experience, some ecstatic experience. It cannot be an experience because experience means there will be an experiencer experiencing experienced, and there's some divine experience will happen. Something, it is like sleep, nothing but only wakeful sleep. So that also is very important. So all these 4 verses are given. And then if I am not clear about it, there will be expectation in the meditation that something must happen. And that something must happen in the meditation is going to be a big block for meditators. Nothing is going to happen because it is not some state of doing or happening. And this again and again I have to repeat when I do take the resolve. During that time, I must remember all these things. When I take the resolve, which is the second step, that Aham Brahmasmi means what? What will happen in the meditation? What will be the result of meditation? What will happen when the mind dissolves? Mano Nasha. So, what is going to happen when the swara will stop? The silence is already there, always there. That is my swarupa. So, we will take up the topic what we left. What is the result? Bhavo va bhava ishyate. What is the meaning of non-existence becomes existence and non-existence becomes existence. So, what is non-existent and what is now existent? We also saw indirectly in the last session. Ahaminashabha jayamaham taya spuratirut swayam paramapurna sat. So something which was existing earlier became non-existent. And for me, something which was not existent earlier became existent. No, not very clear. So let us see now. Result, na bhavo bhava ishyate. Non-existence becomes existence. Non-existence means what? What Guruji has given very clearly, illusory appearance of the world becomes existence as the reality. Means the world also becomes I start looking at the world as Brahman. There is no two things. The Brahman and world becomes one. That is one way to see. But let us see the literal meaning of non-existence and existence. So there are 4 stages. For us right now, before meditation, what is our state? World exists. Yes, world exists. Correct? World exists. Yeah, world exists. I can see the laptop, I can see my room, I can see lights, I can see my body. World exists. I think I am sitting in the world only. So world is the existence right now before meditation result. What is non-existent for me? Truth does not exist for me right now. So that is non-existence. I know there is some Atma, I know there is some Brahman, I know the definition of Atma also. It is beyond 3 stages. It is beyond 5 koshas. It is beyond 3 states. I know the definition exactly. Satchitananda. And after meditation, what is going to happen? World does not exist. Jnate tatve kah sansara. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Oh, world will disappear. Then what will I do? God, truth alone exists. And that God and truth is me only. That is the realization. Otherwise, God is there, truth is there, but I don't know. And if God and truth is there somewhere else, why should I be interested? Very, very important point. So, existence becomes non-existence. Right now, there is existence of the world, non-existence of the truth, God, Brahman, Atma. After meditation, the world does not exist, non-existence, and there is existence of truth alone, God alone. So, all these Mahatmas says that I do not see the world, I do not see people, I do not see something separate than me. There is only Brahman only. Upon Maharaj used to say, Ganga is liquid Brahman, everything is Brahman only. That distinguish, that separation, that division goes away between me, because right now, suppose I think myself practically, yes, I exist till this body. Beyond this body, I am not there. Beyond this body, there is chair in front of me, there is sofa, there is this room, but I am not that chair, sofa and all. But after realization, in that samadhi, there is only one thing. But when I am out of my samadhi, what will be the truth? How would, just think for a moment, that how would Ramana Maharshi would be seeing the world, how Adi Shankaracharya would be seeing the world, how Gurudev would be seeing the world, how Guruji would be seeing the world, how Vedvyasji would be seeing the world. There is no difference between me and the world when I open my eyes. How would be that state that I must keep thinking? And then we know the last verse of Atma Shatkam, that I am pervading Sarvendriyanam. Right now I am pervading only these five senses. After realization, what I will realize, that I pervade through all senses. What a beautiful thing. And that's the reason it is called as complete fulfillment. Because right now, what is my experience? That I am pervading only these five senses. I am bound. I want to liberate. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa. Vibhur vyapya sarvatra sarvendriyanam. Adi Shankaracharya explains. What would be that? So, for a spiritual sadhak, what my invitation to all of us is that keep reading what is that state of, what would be that state of a Mahatma, Buddha, Shankaracharya, Gurudev, Mata Amritabindu, we have Ramana Maharshi. So many saints have realized, Tukaram Maharaj, Jnaneshwar Maharaj. And then today, or from today, this week, homework is that read their enlightenment experience, how they are explaining it. It would be very beautiful homework to do, and very, very inspiring for all of us, that how they have described it. तुका म्हणे आता आकाशा एवढा. Now I am infinite. Ramdas Swami says, Anantacha anta pahavaya gelo. I went in search of infinity. And what happened when I went in search of infinity? I forgot myself. So what happened when I forgot myself? I started searching myself here and there. I couldn't find myself. Nisargadatta Maharaj says, very beautifully, he was asked many times, can you describe your experience of that state? He has clearly written that state, that moment, I realized that I am not an individual. Nisargadatta Maharaj says. So now we have to focus on this. What are they saying? That I am not an individual. And only when I am not an individual, all the misery problems are gone, because the individuality dissolves and then all the problems are dissolved. So the Mahatma, the Guru, has answered the Shishya's question. When will I be out of suffering? Buddha says there is suffering. There is a cause of suffering. Four truths we know, na? There is suffering. There is cause of suffering. There is path of suffering, and there is liberation from suffering. These are his four truths. So now, okay, I understood I will be liberated, but now I am interested in that Spurati Rut Swayam. God alone, truth alone will exist. World will disappear. Non-existence will become existence. But what is the nature of this existence? Is it a silent void? I am not interested to experience that silent void. That I experience in the deep sleep also. In the deep sleep, that I am is not there. There is no world. There is peace. But then again, this ignorance and vasanas come up when I get up. Is it nothingness? So next two verses. So can I request Vidya to read only 8? Let us see whether we can complete it today.
Yeah.
Tadeva.
तदेव निष्कलं ब्रह्म निर्विकल्पं निरञ्जनं तद्ब्रह्माहमिति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते ध्रुवम् तदेव निष्कलं ब्रह्म निर्विकल्पं निरञ्जनं तद्ब्रह्माहमिति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते ध्रुवम्.
So that alone is Brahman. Now I'm interested, okay, then what will be my experience and what is that self? What is that Brahman? So if you see, now we have done 3 Upanishads. Right? 3 Upanishad we saw. Then we saw Ishavasya Upanishad. And those who are, I can see many of you have attended all 3 regularly. They're not even one class missed. So we have seen that in Upanishad style, we are now getting familiar that Upanishad after some time comes to this portion, which is the core portion of Upanishad of defining, giving pointers on attributes of Brahman in various ways. So how here it has been given, what will be that state which is free from differences, without part and taintless. On knowing I am that Brahman, one attains the eternal. Jnatva Brahma Sampadayate Dhruvam. Now, why this are given, which is free from differences, without parts and taintless? Because we know how this Upanishad has started. Mind has 2 types, and before that we have assumed that the Shishya has come to the Guru saying that I am miserable, I am feeling miserable, I am restless, I am feeling that agitation, I still have fear. So when that, whether this will go or this will remain. So now indirectly the Upanishadic Guru has mentioned this in a different way by defining the Brahman. So truth is defined in negative terms here for us to understand what Brahman is not. And that is the method which in Vedanta applied. If I want to know myself, first of all, I have to know what I am not. Very, very important statement. A person who is in search of oneself, first of all, I must know who I am not, and slowly, neti, in Taittiriya Upanishad we saw Panchakosha Viveka we saw, that I am not this Panchakosha. So Nishkala, partless. So here gross body and world is negated. It cannot be divided. So now, what is the significance of this? That's the reason a person who realizes that I am partless, all our problems are there because there is a difference between you and me. This is different, this is different. You are different than me. You are realized, I am not realized. You are rich, I am not rich. I understand, you don't understand. So all the challenges and the miseries and, this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara happens because there is duality. Important point to note, where there is, J.K. Krishnamurti says, where there is division, there is suffering. One powerful sentence, Mahavakya. And then he explains when, because there is division in the religion, religions are fighting. Because there is division in the countries, that this is my border, this is your border, countries are fighting. When there is division in the states, states are fighting. This is your river, my river. When there is division in the family, there is fighting in the family. And now we are coming closer. When there is division in my mind, then again there will be conflict, there will be suffering. So till there is, where there is division, there is suffering. So here what Brahman is partless, no division. I can exist without this body. Oh, what a relief. So if this body will go back to food, because it is the Annamaya Kosha, that is the reason we study so much of Pancha Kosha. Panchakosha is very important for all spiritual sadhaks to read because body is only accumulated food and it will go back to the food. In various Upanishad, this has been mentioned in various ways. In one Upanishad is mentioned that the bird eats the insect, insect eats the bird. It is only, it goes back to five elements. Oh, I am not the body. What a relief. Oh no, my body is weak. Now it is old. I don't know when I will die. Now all these questions go away when I realize this. Nirvikalpa, free of thoughts, subtle body and subtle world is negated here. So when the thoughts itself are gone, then there is no misery because all misery is vritti janya. Where there is vritti, thought, there is all the feelings, all the thoughts. So here the subtle mind and subtle world is negated by the Upanishadic teacher. I can exist without thoughts. What is the proof? I exist without thoughts in the deep sleep. So I am not the body, I am not the thoughts. What a relief. Niranjanam, taintless, main impurity is ignorance of self and vasana. So here causal body is negated. I can exist without desires and world and I can be happy. How? What is the proof? In deep sleep, I am so happy. I don't want to give up sleep. When sleep comes, I am ready to give up anything in this life. And I am so happy when I go to sleep. And I am so refreshed when I get up. So I can exist without desires and world. I can exist without thoughts. I can exist without the body because I am not all these things. Tat Brahmahamiti Jnatva. I am that Brahman which is body, which is beyond body, mind, intellect. So every day I must do this japa. I am not the body. I am not the thoughts. I am not the desires. No, no, but I have so many. Yes, yes, but I keep repeating till it becomes the truth. I abide in that Brahman always. So I, how to let go? I just sit in my mind that I am not the gross body, I am not the subtle body, I am not the causal body. I am not the Annamaya Kosha, I am not Pranamaya Kosha, I am not Manomaya Kosha, I am not Vijnanamaya Kosha, I am not Anandamaya Kosha. I alone am bliss, Aham Brahmasmi. I say this and I sit for meditation. That's the reason all these things are given before sitting for meditation. I must go through this. I must read this Upanishad and sit for meditation. Not that I just watch some WhatsApp movie and then, okay, this is the time for meditation. No, no. I have to prepare for half an hour by reading this Upanishad. Then when I sit, all these thoughts will come. Gurudev, Om identified with BMI and appearing as PFT is Jiva. So what is the practice I have to do on this? I am not body, mind, intellect. I have a body, mind, intellect. This is a practice. And whatever I have, maintain it. Eat properly, take sunlight, do exercise, sleep properly because as we maintain the mobile phone, charge it every day by proper vitamins and proteins because I have it, but I am not it. And second practice, I am happiness. My happiness does not depend on the body, mind, intellect and objects, emotion, thoughts as. And so we are coming to first mantra where we discovered the two banks. And this must be my mental japa all the time that I am not the body, mind, intellect. This world is illusory. So all happiness coming from the world, from the object to the senses, senses to the mind, mind to the intellect, intellect to the ego is all at the ego level. But I am beyond ego. I am beyond mind. So we will stop here. Ninth mantra also are going to give us some pointers to practice. And again, further mantras are going to give us pointers about knowing the self because I can know by logic, very important point. I can know by logic and physics that observer is not the observed, perceiver is not the perceived, the knower is not the known, the experiencer is not the experienced. But very, 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 very important point which is going to come again. To know myself, I need Shastra. That is the only Praman I have. Shabda Praman is the only Praman through which I know who am I. And why that knowledge is important? Because right now I'm having the experience of who am I. I'm having the experience of existence and consciousness. I know that I am, but I do not know the nature of it completely as infinite bliss. I have the experience, but I do not have the knowledge. So I am not able to recognize. So recognition of my beingness is enlightenment. Recognition of who am I is moksha. Recognition of my own real reality is enlightenment. That's all. It is so very easily available with us all the time. बस एक पल की तलाश है. Kabirdas ji says. So all these pointers are mentioned again and again so that we don't postpone it. We don't think that it is far away. We don't think it is many lives for me. We don't think that, oh, there are so many vasanas, desires, so it will be next birth. No, no, no. मैं तो हूँ पास में, मैं तो हूँ विश्वास में. Now we are doing Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. That's the reason now we understand why Kabir ji is saying Shraddha. मैं तो हूँ विश्वास में, मैं तो हूँ तेरे पास में. And Bhagavan has taken 17th chapter as Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Not first chapter, because finally we are going to realize with this Shraddha only. On Shraddha only the spiritual sadhak walks or sits. Finally, that is the base on which the sadhak realizes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much.